Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin as we're heading into the weekend. So I want to give you an overview of the three relevant scenarios that we still have on the chart. I think we can reduce it down to two. Not happy to do that yet because we haven't got invalidation yet, but I would, of one of them, yeah, but I would expect that invalidation to happen possibly this weekend, but probably rather next week. Yeah, or on Sunday, because typically Saturdays are quite boring, and especially after a strong move like this one, we typically see sideways action for a few days at least. So we are going to take a look at that now. Now, the first scenario, which I at the moment find the most likely one, or at least the one that I'm following right now, is this one, that price rallied in a wave 1 of the November lows, came down in a wave 2 correction, and this is another wave 1, and then here the A wave down into the June lows, a high B wave, and now a C wave to the downside. In this C wave, price seems to need one more low. So basically a wave 4 and a wave 5. We've been waiting for that 4 and 5 now for a few days. The wave 3 extended, however. So we never got that, you could say, last low. It just extended the wave Bitcoin was already in. Thinking like, oh, why do I need a 4 and 5? Let's just finish this off straight away. But as per traditional Elliott Wave theory, you could say, you typically would expect another wave 4 and 5. Now, in crypto, sometimes you get these flushes and these breakdowns without making that 4 and 5. It could be that in the smallest time frames, you know, it might be there, and sometimes the sentiment is so extreme in crypto that you sometimes just don't get this 4 and 5. Now, that could still mean it's a C wave or it's a WXY. It doesn't really matter. What I try to highlight here, which is also why crypto is a bit more risky, is they can always turn early. They can always turn earlier. But, you know, this is a wave 1 and then, 1, 2, and then wave 1 to the upside, A wave down, highlighted here in yellow, B wave up, high B wave, and the C wave down. This is for me the most likely scenario. And in this scenario, you can see it highlighted in yellow there. Price seems to be coming down in a 5-wave move. So wave 1 done, wave 2 done, wave 3 possibly done. Yeah. It might get one more low even in wave 3. That's not clear. I would nearly say if it comes down now, it might still be part of the third wave. Yeah, I would like to see a healthy wave 4 before we come down. Note that also the wave 3 did not quite reach the 1.618 extension. That's typically a key target for a third wave. In my opinion, it has come down low enough. You know, the 1.618 was at 24,850 and it reached 25,300. I mean, it's not a must to get there. It just means we probably need to leave the door open in case it wants one more low, even in the third wave. Yeah, that's just something very important to understand. And then we could get a wave 4 and a wave 5. Resistance for the wave 4 is still unchanged from yesterday's video. It's 27,720. A sustained break above that level will make me think, or will cause me to think, that a low is in. Bear in mind, we've been saying for weeks that a low wasn't in yet. Okay, so we expected declining prices still, but we're looking for lows. Yeah, but if you want confirmation that price is turning around, you need to have some patience. Okay, so that's the situation. This is for me the most likely scenario, and if we make one more low here, then we could be going to around about 23,970, so basically 24k next, or even 22k in a more extreme case. However, I will not be able to really precisely give you that level until we've seen the top in wave 4. Now, if we look into the micro count before we take a look at the other two scenarios, you can see that Bitcoin seems to be coming down again. We need to see. I mean, this is sort of the area again where the buyers stepped in on Thursday. So it's interesting if they step in again. Seems to be coming down, but seems to be in sort of a corrective fashion, overlapping price action. So what I'd like to see normally here is a healthy wave 4. So the move down could have been an A wave. Maybe we're now working on B and then we'll get a C, or it's going to form a triangle. Don't have enough price data. There are tons of ways how this could now unfold. Important would be for a healthier wave 4 that it holds obviously the Thursday low. In an ideal world, even yesterday's low at 25,600 that was. And when do we get a first signal that it's breaking down? I mean, to the next low, 25,000. I would say a sustained break below 25,600 would give us that. Well, that is basically yesterday's low. So yeah, that would, I think, increase downside momentum. We then just have here the 50% fib level in the way that needs broken as well at 25,320. But primarily, I'd be looking for a healthy wave 4 now, but I cannot rule out another low before that happens actually, right? So this is the primary scenario still. The relevant breakout point to the upside should be clear. Relevant support levels should be clear, and the relevant invalidation point for this scenario as well. Whereas invalidation for this scenario is actually at 19,650, but already below 22K, I would think this scenario is not so likely anymore. It will then drop too much for this C wave. It will be out of proportion, okay? Or this wave 2 in general will just drop too much. Now, then we've got another scenario which is which allows for a deeper decline. I would say that's the second most likely scenario. I've got it on the chart. I already showed it to you yesterday. Some people asked me, is it technically possible that we've got 5 waves up into the July highs? And I said, yes, that is possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not a scenario we haven't talked about before. We indeed have, but obviously it only makes sense really to focus on it when we get more evidence for it. So this is, of course, a technically valid scenario. I just need to, where we can debate if this wave top was here or here, but it doesn't really matter for the analysis. Technically possible, yes, and then we would be coming down in the green wave A, would rally in a correction in a B wave. Looking at the structure of this move up then, we will be able to determine if it's the green count or something more bullish. And we would then come down in a deeper wave 2, okay? And we have to give it room all the way down to around about 18K. But this is the second most likely scenario. That will depend on, in my opinion, the ability of the bulls to create a significant rally after we form a low here. So also in the green wave count and in the yellow count, I would expect it to form some kind of a low in this region here. Yeah, ideally, it would at least be ideal to form a low in this region here that we've just discussed. And then the quality and the structure of the next rally will tell us a lot about, are we in the yellow wave count or are we in the green wave count? I would not worry too much about the green count at this stage, which allows eventually for a deeper decline, because we should see a B wave rally before that. And we should be able to determine based on the structure of the B wave if it is the green count or the yellow count. Technically, it shouldn't make a difference because either way, some kind of a move up would be expected from here. And either way, we haven't got a confirmed low in place anyway. So that's one, yeah, that's also something to highlight. I mean, it seems like, I sometimes read in the comments, that's just sort of a general comment. If you invest or even try to trade for the long term, yeah, even if you let's say you trade the daily time frame or the weekly one, a lot of people seem to want to find the perfect entry for, let's say, a trade on the daily or weekly time frame, and then they're bothered if Bitcoin drops $2,000. I mean, if you're trading really like the daily or weekly time frame and you're trading for the larger swings, I would personally not be so worried about you know, like the 30-minute chart. That doesn't align. That doesn't make sense. Whereas if you make a trade, of course, intraday, yeah, I mean, that's different. But anybody who's accumulating, let's say, for a third wave rally, which could take us to 40K eventually, yeah, shouldn't normally be so worried if price comes back a little bit lower, okay? Because you're basically scaling in, right? You have to give it a lot of room. It's Bitcoin, we're in crypto. I tend to give these a lot of room because, you know, the third wave rally will extend massively. So I'm not really bothered about if Bitcoin drops down a little lower or not. That would be different if I really have an aggressive trade on, But then I wouldn't do that until we have a confirmed reversal. Yeah, that's just something tactically speaking that sometimes I'm a bit confused about, that people are bothered about. Okay, Bitcoin is dropping 2,000, oh, it's dropping a bit more. Oh dear, we've got so much space. But if you're trading on the daily or weekly, then it shouldn't matter. Yeah, and if you're trading smaller time frames, then you would not scale in any way, right? I mean, if you're trading smaller time frames, you would normally probably wait just for a reversal, or you would short this in the resistance area. You need to be aware of your time frame you're trading. You need to be aware of your time frame. And then here the smallest, or let's call it now the least likely scenario, is here a series of 1-2 setups. This would be very aggressively bullish, could still happen, but it would really need to turn around now. Invalidation for this scenario is 24,000. Yeah, what did I say? 24,950 roughly. It's the June low, and it could still work, so I leave it on the chart, but just note that it has probably turned into the least likely one, and unless we see a rally over the weekend or on Monday, any new low will most likely lead to invalidation of this one, okay? But in all three scenarios, we would expect here some kind of a reaction in the yellow support area, but of course I cannot confirm that until the price shows some kind of a reaction, okay? And it would take a break above 27,720 to confirm that a low is in. So what is very important is to understand the language here. If I say I expect something here, it doesn't mean it has to happen. It means that I am going to watch for a reaction at these fib levels, and as long as it happens, if it doesn't happen, I can't confirm a low in place. We still have to give room for further downside, yeah. So it's 27,720, break above that level where I consider that a low has been made. It will then also depend on the structure, but that's sort of price-wise what we would need to see. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.